Hello and welcome to Friday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where after the excitement of yesterday's return of the great Phistomefel, we have another constructor we haven't featured for a while reappearing today. This is Damascosos92, who I remember has set some absolute bangers in the past, and we've had loads of recommendations to try this, which is mischievously titled P equals NP. Perhaps we'll get to prove that today and win a boatload of money. P equals NP, yeah, this is all to do with computer theory, something I've never studied and don't know much about, but it's something to do with the relationship between how easy it is to show that a puzzle has a solution and how easy it is to show that a puzzle, or to prove that that solution is correct. It's something to do with those two things, isn't it? And the great debate is whether or not, and Sudoku I think is part of this debate, the idea being that it's quite easy. For example, we've got a puzzle here. Imagine there were no cages in it. We could presumably find a possible solution to this very easily, but proving that that solution was correct might be a much more difficult thing, and it's something to do with the algorithmic properties of how long it takes the algorithm to solve the puzzle. That's about the limit of my knowledge, but hopefully at the end of this video, well, we're not going to understand more about that, but hopefully we'll understand more about Damascosos92's puzzle, which is all to do with P and N shaped pentominoes in the grid look. And I'll tell you the rules of this one in a moment or two's time. It's just got 3 stars out of 5 for difficulty, so probably slightly easier than the intractable computer theory problem that underlies the title. What else can I tell you about today? Let's do some crossword stuff first. There is a crossword video on the channel this morning in which I solved today's Times crossword, which is brutally hard. Over on Patreon, there is Mark's solve of the Times Club monthly special, which is brutally hard. Also on Patreon is my solve of Emre Kolotoglu's region geometry puzzle, which is brutally hard. Also on Patreon is our Sudoku hunt for March, our competition. That is not brutally hard. That is actually very achievable, and hundreds of you have already achieved it. Well done if you have. And if you haven't, you've still got plenty of time left. The closing date is the 20th of March, and 5 days is more than enough to get through that pack of puzzles, so do have a go at that if you have a few minutes spare. Other than that, what else did I need to tell you? Oh yes, and then the other thing that might appear on Patreon over the weekend, if I get a chance, is I'm planning to have another go at Islands of Insight, and if I do that, I will record myself and plonk that video up there. Oh, it's the 1000th Wordle today as well. This is the sort of thing that just makes me feel old. How can Wordle have been around for 1000 days already? Feels like only yesterday it sort of appeared. If any of you do Wordle and don't know this already, Mark solves Wordle in a minute almost always, and we post those videos on TikTok, on the channel itself as YouTube shorts, and also on Instagram, so you can follow us there and get that sort of content. And then I've got a few birthdays to mention, so let me do that. I'm going to start with Andy, who's turned the big 40 today. Congratulations, Andy. I know it's your birthday because your wife Cara wrote to us and said that you watch every video, for which I am very thankful. Thank you. And I hope you have a massive slice of chocolate cake today, with lots of cake, of course. Next, Raphael has turned 18 today. And Raphael amusingly thanked us for giving him at least one reason to like mathematics. Raphael, I'm very glad we can provide that reason, and I hope you have a great 18th birthday today. And then finally, absolutely amazing, Joya. Joya is turning 1 month old today over there in New Jersey, and I know this because your mummy Laura wrote to us, Joya, and said and told us you were turning 1 month old today. And then also amusingly, Laura revealed that she's tried to get her husband, her dad, and her brothers interested in the channel, but Joya is the first family member who will actually watch the videos with her. Well done, Joya. If you keep watching the videos, you will be a Sudoku whiz by the time you're about 3 years old, and the world of Sudoku will tremble at your feet. I can't hope you're having chocolate cake if you're only 1 month old. But yeah, I hope you have chocolate cake soon. Anyway, with all that said and done, let's have a look at P equals NP and see what Damasosos92 has in store for us. These are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. I get loads of given digits today. Yes, in fact I get one of each given digit, don't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How generous. Thank you very much. Anyway, normal Sudoku rules. So we have to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and in every 3 by 3 box. Every cage in the grid is either a P pentomino or an N pentomino. So a P pentomino looks like a P, like that one, and an N pentomino it's always a bit hard to see that an N pentomino, but if you can sort of see, you know, if you drew an N, it would look a bit like that, wouldn't it? A bit like this. So it is true, this puzzle seems to be filled with sort of P and N pentominoes. Every pentomino is completely filled by either a renban line or a thermometer hidden behind the pentomino. So cells along a renban line contain a set of consecutive non-repeating digits in any order, and digits on a thermometer must strictly increase as they move away from the bulb. The position of the bulb has to be deduced by the solver, and thermometers only make vertical or horizontal turns inside the pentominoes and do not branch. All the cages of the same shape hide the same constraint. The solver has to deduce which constraint is hidden behind each shape. Right, so what on earth does that mean? Well, let's imagine that I'm probably going to immediately do something that's absolutely impossible. Let's imagine that's a 1. If this is a 1, and let's say that this P pentomino, or let's say P pentominoes they're all the same, are they? If we discover one of them is renban, they're all renban. Let me just check the rules again. Every pentomino is completely filled. Yeah, so let's imagine we proved somehow that P pentominoes were renbans, and we proved that there was a 1 in this P pentomino. Then we would know that the contents of this pentomino had to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, because it has to be a set of consecutive non-repeating digits. So once 1 is in there, 2, 3, 4, and 5 would have to be in there. Let's say, on the other hand, that this is a thermometer. Then somehow we have to draw a thermometer in this shape where the digits along the thermometer increase. So can I show you a thermometer? I probably can actually. Let's use the pen tool. So let's say that this is a thermometer. And the thermometer can't go diagonally, can it? Vertical, yeah, it can only make vertical or horizontal turns, and it doesn't branch. So something like that would be perfectly possible. And if this was the shape of the thermometer, and this was the bulb, which it must be if this is a 1, this could be something like 4, 5. Oh, bobbins, I've messed it up. That can't, no, I'm going to have to go lower to start with, otherwise I'm going to get into trouble. Now I could go 5 here and 8 here. 1, 2, 4, 5, 8. There might be a reason that doesn't work, but I can't immediately see it. What a fascinating idea. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, what on earth? Where do we look for getting any sort? If we can identify which shape contains renbans, because these are pentominoes, they have 5 digits in them. And then if you imagine the digits 1 to 9 and you cut a slice of 5 digits, 5 consecutive digits, you're always going to pick up a 5 wherever you place the slice. So if we were able to prove, for example, that P pentominoes were renbans, where are all the... Oh, maybe I should shade them all. I'll shade all the P pentominoes to start. That's going to be a sensible idea. I think that's all of them, so we'll give them a colour. What should we make them? Purple, maybe? And then these ones can all be some other colour. Let's make these ones... Yellow or green? I think that looks nicer. I'm going to go for green. Okay, so if we could prove that the purple ones, for example, were all renbans, we'd have to put 5 in all of them. And if we could prove that the green ones were all renbans, we'd have to put 5 in all of those. Okay. I don't see how to do that. Golly, I'm not seeing anything at all, actually. It's going to be something like focusing on this square, because that square sees the whole of that thingy, whatever you call them, pentomino. That square sees the whole of that pentomino. 7. Yeah, if that was a thermometer. Ah, okay. Yeah, that's an interesting thought, isn't it? So, if N is a thermometer, because the thermometer can't branch, one end of the thermometer is going to be at one end of the pentomino. But if the P is a thermometer, the sticky out bit of the P is going to either have to be the bulb or the end of the thermometer, because you can't get in and out of that square. So 7, if this was a thermometer, this would have to be the end of the thermometer. If that's a renban, it can't have 3 in it, so it would have to be selected from the digits 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Which would mean it has to contain quite a lot of digits. It would have to have 5, 6 and 7 in it. But it could. I haven't got this yet, have I? 4 can't go in that one. That's it. Right, there we go. This one cannot be a renban, because if that was a renban, it has a 2 in it, so it needs to have 5 consecutive digits. And however, whether we start with 1 in this cage or start with the 2 in the cage, we're always having to put a 4 in the cage, and by Sudoku 4 doesn't go in. So all of the purples are thermometers. Now, does that mean I can assume that all the greens are renbans, or am I not allowed to? I mean, it would be quite funny if the whole puzzle was filled with thermometer-shaped cages. Every cage is either a P pentomino or an, that's just true. Every pentomino is completely filled by either a renban line or a thermometer. All the cages of the same shape hide the same constraint. The solver has to deduce which constraint is hidden behind each shape. It's not... The wording of the rules is such that I don't think it is actually stated that we do know that purples now are thermometers. I don't think we necessarily know that green is renban. I mean, it's very likely, because a lot of rule space has been wasted if it's not renban. But on the wording of the rules, I'm not sure I am actually allowed to make that assumption. I'll try and do the puzzle without making that assumption, and then if I get stuck, I will have to make that assumption. So, what does this mean? So the purple ones are thermometers. The thing is, that is not actually... I think renbans are almost going to be necessary in this puzzle, because because you can jump over digits. Like, I now know that this is a thermometer somehow, and I know it doesn't have 3 in it, but that doesn't mean it can't have a low digit. It could absolutely have 1 or 2 in it, and then skip over the 3 along the thermometer and be quite happy. Does that have to be the... Ah, right. There is a 1 in this cage, I think. And that's because this is a thermometer, and there's a 2 somewhere on the thermometer. This can't be the bulb of the thermometer, this cell here. And that means that this is the end of the thermometer. And that means that we have to sort of go from cell to cell somehow within this P pentomino. But where can the bulb be, I suppose, is the question I'm asking. So this is the tip, so we're going to go here, and then we either go there or there. But if we go there, we're going to finish here. And if we go there, we're going to finish here. So this is never the finish of the thermometer. I suppose the other way to think about that, let's go back to our drawing of... So if that was a bulb, I have to get this to be the tip. And you can't do it. You're going to miss out a cell within the pentomino. So there is definitely a 1 in one of those squares, which is a dreadful pencil mark because it crosses a box border. But that is the only thing I've really deduced about this. And the 5 here means that this is either a bulb. So say that was a 1, 2. Yeah, no, no, these are not restricted. That one is probably the end, probably 8 and 9. Yeah, okay. Oh, I got a digit here. This is an 8. Sorry, what I was thinking there was, because this can't be, well, if this was the bulb of the thermometer, 7, we'd go 8, 9, and then 10, 11, and that's going to break. So this is the tip of the thermometer in box 1. And therefore, these digits are lower than 7. Now that's quite interesting, because I've got an 8 there. So that digit is just 8. And now 9. So this is probably where we're meant to start. Bingo. Right. And that means I don't have to worry about greens being thermometers as well. Because if this was a thermometer, then one of these digits is broken. Because this would be low, 8, 9 in one of these, and if this is 9, this is 10, and if this is not 9 and that's 9, that needs to be between 8 and 9, and there are no such Sudoku digits that do that. So it is legitimate now for us to assume that green are all renbans, and because there's a 9 in this cage, I know exactly what this cage is. It's got to be 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, so we've got to pencil mark that in. These are not 7. So 7 is in one of those squares. So 7 is in one of those 2 squares. And I don't know what that means. No, I'm not sure. Could we... I don't know. Sorry, I can't see what to do with that. They can't include 9 because the 9's in here. I was trying to think about 9 in this box because it can't repeat within its cage. I mean, if that's a 9, then these squares need to include an 8, so that would have to be an 8. These would be from 5, 6, 7. Oh, you couldn't put 7 in the cage. Golly, that's quite complicated. Okay, yeah, so 9, if we think about where 9 goes in this box, it can't be here, it can't be here. Could it be here? Well, if it is here, this cage here needs to have a 7 in it. And there's a 7 pencil marked here, so these are not 7, and there's a 7 pencil mark there, so they're not 7. And because 8 would have to go here in the cage, is that true? Oh no, it is true. That is true. That is true. There would be nowhere for 7. Goodness me, that's very complicated. So 9 is up there, which means 9 is over here. Now does that mean I can't put 9 here? That would be 8. And it's the same point, isn't it? I think it's the same point. That can't be 9. If that was 9, I'd need to put 8 into this cage. And that would have to go there. Oh, bobbins. That might be possible. Then there'd have to be a 7 in this cage. That could be there. Oh, goodness me. Okay, this is much less straightforward than I was anticipating. Okay, but we could ask questions like, if there's a 6 in one of these green cages, there can't be a 1 in it. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is if you put a 1 in a 5-cell cage, or 5-cell on a 5-cell renban, the maximum digit you could have on that renban is then 5. But we don't have many 1s in the grid. We have 1 1. This cage can't have 9 in it for exactly the same reason. Wow, okay. What about every single one of these cages has to have 5 in them? Ah, yeah, okay. So where is 5 in this cage? That's just been a gimme the moment that we've figured out that the green cages were renbans. So where is 5 in... Oh, bother. Where is 5? I was going to say, where's 5 in this cage? I think it could be in 2 places, rather annoyingly. No, it can't. Right. Okay, so where... That is a reasonable question. Where's 5 in that cage? Now, by Sudoku, it's not in these squares, so it's in one of those 2. Now, I don't think it can be here, because when I just did that in my head, I got far too many 5s in row 2 and row 3. Yeah, that's wrong. Okay, so that's very pretty, actually. That is a very pretty point. So the facetious question we need to ask ourselves now is, how many 5s are we expecting there to be in this row of the Sudoku if we complete it correctly? Now, hopefully your answer to that will be 1 5. And how many 5s are we expecting there to be in that row of the Sudoku if we complete it correctly? And hopefully our answer would be 1 5. So these 2 rows need to contain 2 5s. But if I put a 5 here, I think we've got a big problem with the number of 5s that would be necessitated in row 2 and row 3. We know there's a 5 somewhere there. In fact, I now know it's not there, I suddenly see. Well, we know there's a 5 in one of these 3 squares. That's 1 5. I've got to put a 5 in there. That's going to be in this domino. That's 2 5s. And I've got to put a 5 in this shape. And that's going to have to be in this domino. And that's 3 5s. And I can't put 3 5s in 2 rows. So that is not a 5. That is a 5. And therefore that is a 5. That's beautiful. Because I've got to put a 5 in this shape. That's not a 5 anymore. Now, what does that mean? That means 5 is in one of the... whoopsie. I did not want to do that. I want to just pencil mark 5s into that row. 5s in this row. 5 can't go here, look. Because there will be 2 5s in this region. So there's a 5 in this domino. So there's no 5 here anymore. Yes, and the 5 in this shape is up there. It's in one of 2 places, so that is not a 5. So I've now got a 5 in the P thermometer thing at the bottom, in the bottom right. 8 is up there by Sudoku. Which is potentially interesting, is it? Oh, bobbins, I don't know. What now? I don't know. There is no 1 in this renban. There's no... Okay, there's no 1 in that renban there. So there is a 6 in this one. That's totally useless. Or at least I think it's totally useless. I don't really even want to make that pencil mark in a way. That's so arbitrary, isn't it, to write 6 into one of 5 cells there, all across this box border. I think I will do it, just to try and keep track of things I've actually noticed. Right, so what now? What on earth do we look at now? We could look at... I don't know. That digit is a little bit interesting. That has to be quite a low number. Because if we look at this sequence here is 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Now, the only cell of that this one doesn't see is the 8 by Sudoku, but there is an 8 already in this row. So effectively this square sees 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. It also sees 2 and 4, so that is only a 1 or a 3. Now that's in a thermometer shape. Oh, that could be either way. That digit's got the same property. That also sees, in effect, a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple, but that doesn't see 4. So that's 1, 3 or 4. So there's no 9 now in this renban shape because we know it's got a digit lower than 5 in it. So is that one. No, that's oh dear, that's not good enough, is it? Okay. Goodness me, I don't know what to do. Let's think. Is it going to be thermologic or is it going to be renban logic? Those 2 digits there, those low digits, are now in this thermometer. But that's very unsurprising. I think, anyway. I think it's very unsurprising. Okay, so that's not how we think about this. I like this. This is hard. This is definitely not straightforward, but it is interesting. It's sort of... It's definitely got some... I'm quite fascinated, actually, to see how this is going to unwind itself. Now... What is it that I'm meant to be noticing here? Is it possible to deduce that? I don't know. Is it something to do with... Have I done as much as I can with the 5s that I discovered earlier? I didn't really get very many of them placed, did I? Ah, look, there's a... Yeah, okay. There's a 5 in one of these 2 squares. So I haven't put a 5 into row 3. Where's my 5 in row 3? Does it have to be here? Oh, that's quite exciting. So that's a 5. Right, look at that. That's weird. So that 5 now, which I've just discovered in row 3, sees that 5, which can't repeat in its cage. So now I've got a 6-7 pair, and I get a 9 here. And because this can't be a 5, that becomes a 5, look. So these are now an 8-9 pair, based off the work we did earlier. These squares are a 6-7 pair. That 5 sees that square, so that's a 5. This square is now 1, 3 or 4, very low again. So now I can't put... I already worked out I couldn't put 9 in this cage. I now can't put 8 in it either. Which is presumably of some value. Probably. That square can't be a 6, but that's the dodgy pencil mark that we did earlier. So we take that with a large pinch of salt. Okay. Oh, that's a little bit interesting. That cage has to have a 3 in it now. That must be right, mustn't it? But because these 2 digits are from 4, 1, 3 and 4, even if these themselves don't include a 3, the only way these don't include a 3 is because they have a 1 in them. And if they have a 1 in them, there's still got to be a 3 in the cage. So actually there is a 3. It's a dodgy pencil mark again, but there is a 3 in one of those cells. Ah. I'm just going to make that pencil mark because I can see something. That then knocks 3 out of that renban. So now this renban is from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, but it's got 5 in it, obviously. So this renban has to contain, I want to say, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Oh, I see. Oh, this is gorgeous. Right. Well, I think the only digit there we need to concentrate on is 6. Oh, that's got me a 6 here as well. Look, right. This is the crucial cage. We will award this dark green because this is so important. So what I've just noticed is because I can't put 3 in this cage, and I'm selecting 5 consecutive digits. This cage is either 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Either way, it has 6 in it. And that 6 is there. It's in one of these 3 squares. Now that knocks 6 out of my dodgy pencil mark earlier. And now I've only got one place left for a 6. But that isn't even the important thing, I don't think. But because now these 2 6s knock 6 entirely out of the top cage again. So this top cage must be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Which means these squares are 1s, 2s, 3s and 4s. That's definitely not 3. That's definitely not 4. it's probably important, isn't it? This cage needs to contain 7. Oh, we've got a floating 7 pencil mark here. Is that good? Yes, yes. 7, 7. That is actually a 7. So that is a 7. So these have to include 8, and then either 4 or 9 is going to be the last digit. So I'm going to pencil mark that. I mean, it's slightly fruity pencil mark, but we're going to go for it. Now 7 can't appear in this. So this is beautiful. Its logic is stunning here. This thingy can't have 7 in it. So it's either 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it must therefore have 2 and 3 in it. Well, that can't be 3. So 3 is in one of those 2 squares in that cage. That's a dodgy pencil mark. 2 is in one of those squares. And that's a dodgy pencil mark. And I've done so little with the thermometers at this point. Okay, I'm not sure if I can do better. I probably can somehow. I'm just not seeing it. Where's 7 in this cage? Or this box? It's definitely in this cage, isn't it? Which is not surprising because we had... well, I'm not sure we did know that before. So it's 5, 6 and 7 in this cage, definitely. Can it have 8 in it? Only if this is 8. No, it can't have 8 in it anymore. Because we worked out there was an 8 in the special cage. So this cage, its contents are now known. They are 7. Let's put them all in. They are 7, 6, 5, 4 and 3. And these definitely include 5 and 7. So this square is... That square's just 3 or 4 apparently. So it's not 9. So that's now 9. Which is probably important. Well, or is it? I'm not sure. It might be. Where's 2 in this? That's a very good question. Yes. Where's 2 in box 6? Finally a good question. 2 has to go there. So it's not there. So my dodgy pencil mark worked because that gets me a 2 here. That means this isn't a 2, but there is a 2 in that cage, so that's got to go up there. These are a 1, 3, 4 triple. I think I can risk taking the 3 out now. I need to put 1 in this column somewhere, so it's down there, which puts 1 in the corner. No song, but still a delight. That's a 3 or a 4, so this is not a 3 or a 4. This row needs 3s, 4s and 6s in it. Well, hang on. I'm going to claim that's got to be a 6 then. Because if we put the 6 there, there's no way this can make a valid thermometer. So that's a 6. 3 or 4 in the corner, possibly a 3. I have noted that chance. These squares are all low digits. 1, 2, 3 and 4. But that is not 2. How can it go down to this square? It can't, can it? If this thermometer goes here, then that will be the bulb of the thermometer. And this, we couldn't go 3, 4, 5. Those digits are not available. So we must go here and then here. So this can't be 1 or 4. And this has to be a low digit. That is a 1 or a 2. And the most frustrating thing about that is that I think that logic is correct, but I don't think it does anything. Or if it does, I'm not seeing it. This is now... It can't be the tip of the thermo, because the highest digit it could be would be a 6, and we can't get from the 5 to the 6 using thermometer logic. So this is the bulb. And that's going to take all the pressure off the world, isn't it? Actually, I should draw these thermos in. So that's a bulb. This is a bulb, and it goes like that. We don't know where the at least I don't think I know where the bulb is in this one. What are the other digits in these squares? We know one of these is a 3. The other digit is a 1 or a 6, isn't it? So these digits are from 1, 3 and 6. That can't be a 1 by Sudoku. That one seems to be able to be lots of things, unfortunately. 2 is in one of those cells I'm seeing. Let's put that in case it's helpful. I haven't put 8 and... okay. Okay. I haven't put 8 or 9 into box 5. Where are they going? Well, you can see they're going in the thermo, aren't they? So this must be the tip, and it must therefore be the 9, and then that must be the 8. That's so strange. This is a wonderful puzzle. It's really, really weird, but very clever. Oh, then we could go 3, 2, 1, could we? Or we could go here with just about anything. What, 1, 3 and 6 are the digits into this square. I don't know if we can do that. I strongly suspect we can, but I can't see how. What about this column then? Oh, yeah, that square's 8 or 9. And that square, whatever it is, can't go in this cage. So this cage has to have a 4 in it, I'm going to claim. Even if that's a 9, the fact that that cannot include a 9 forces it to take a 4. So 4 is placed. Don't tell me that does nothing. It does nothing. It does absolutely diddly. Oh dear. So if this had 2 in it, it would have to have 3 in it. This would be a 2-3 pair. If it doesn't have 2 in it, then it would have to have 7 in it. The 7 would be in one of those squares, which it could well be. Okay. Sorry, if you can... Oh, that's not 4. It's a small point, but it could be relevant. So the extra digit in here is 4 or 9. So whichever a 4 or 9 doesn't appear here, it appears down here. So that's a 1. It's a naked single. Because I think that logic is correct. There's definitely a 6 and an 8 in this triple. So whatever's left out here has to appear down here and couldn't appear here. So I think that's got to be the 1. I've got a horrible feeling that's not going to do anything either. So this square is a 4 or a 9 at the very bottom of the column. Bobbins. And we're going to have to think much harder about something else now, and that's going to be terrifying. Where's 9 in this column? Well, it's not there, is it? And it's definitely not there. So it is there. That's a tiny... Well, that might be useful. Oh, it is... No, it is useful. Sorry, has this been available for ages? Where's 9 in this box? Maybe it has only been just become available. But I don't... Yeah, I can't put 9 in here because this is too low to accommodate a 9. So I've got to put 9 there. And now I know that these don't include 4. So these are a 6-8 pair, which means that's the 4. Which means 4 is over here. Now 4 in this box... Yeah, this is good. 4 is in one of these 3 squares, so that means that's got to be 3, which means that's 4. Which means... That's 3 in the corner, that's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. A 3 in the corner for our troubles. This square is a naked single 4. I get a 1-3 pair here, a 1-3 pair here. which might help, maybe. I don't know. Oh, I still can't see how to do that. We can probably do a lot more Sudoku now. Now, if that's 3, 3 comes out of these squares. So these are now known to be a 4, 5, 7 triple. So I've not put 2 and 3. I can do this. So that's 3, that's 2. That is not 3, but we had to put a 3 in that one, I remember. So that becomes a 3, which is finally going to sort out these 1s and 3s. And that, okay, so that teaches us how the thermo moves in this box. It moves like that. And it gives us a 6 here and a 7 here. So we have to put 1, 8 and 9 into the column. Let's pencil mark that up. That's a 1, 8, 9 triple somehow we found in box 8. So these squares are 2, 3 and 7. Whoops. Slip of the mouse there. That's not 3 by Sudoku. So 3 is in here. That should be of no surprise. It's a renban. And it's got 2 or 7 as its other digit, but I still don't know which one. I'm going to have to get that cell to know. Wow. And what about that one? Ah! That's also ambiguous. Good grief. Okay. That one is also ambiguous, but in a less surprising way. Do I not know the order of... What's going on? Oh, that's not 5. Okay. So I haven't put 4, 6, 7 and 8. These are from 4... I'm going to pencil mark those. 4, 6, 7, 8. What can I get rid of? That is not 7 or 8. What about that one? That's not 6. So yeah, this could still... I could do with ruling out another digit or 2 from this square. No, that was going to be I was going to make a bad statement there, so I'll resist the temptation to do that. What about this column then? I feel like that's going to have to be the tip of this thermometer. That might be wrong, but that's just looking at all the digits in this column I've not placed. There's loads of high digits. So if this was the bulb, it would have to be 5, going up to a 7, and I'm going to run out of high digits. So that is the tip. So this is now not able to be 5. Oh, we can actually see that as well. There's a 5 pencil marked. But that's also a very big number. How does that work? This is the tip of the thermo. So if that's not 9, if that was 8, so if this was 8, that would have to be lower than 8 and would have to be 7, and these couldn't connect. So I think this has to go 7, 8, 9. I don't see how that can be 5. And I can form a valid thermo. So I think that goes 7, 8, 9. That gives me a 5 here. 4, 7 here. That's a 5 by Sudoku now, and I've not put 2 and 6. Oh, bother. I've not put... but I've seen something. That 7 gives me that digit. So now I do finally know what's going on in this renban. It was... Well, it's 3 and 7, but I suppose we don't care really, do we? Oh, 9 goes there in box 8. That's 8. That's 1. So that's going to figure out a couple of things at the top of the grid. This is a thermo. Oh, that's lovely. So it's the thermo that disambiguates this one, look. Because the 5 must be the lowest digit. We can't go 2, 5, 8. So we must go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 6, that's 2. This column, or row, sorry, needs 2, 3 and 7. Which we'll probably be able to do, maybe not actually. I don't see how that can be 7 if we're going up to 9. It's too far away. We could put 8 here, but we'd have to make a diagonal connection. And also, we could avail ourselves of a little-known technique known as Sudoku to rule a 7 out from that square. But, yeah, we don't want to trivialise the puzzle in such a way. Okay, 3, 6, 7. Where's 6? 6 is there. And this is a 3 or a 7. So that's a 2, 3, 7 triple. These squares here are known now. They are 1, 4 and 8. And we might be able to get at least some joy from eliminations here. Or not. So it is going to probably be this thermo, I guess. This... Oh, that's not... Oh, thank goodness for that. I thought I'd made a mistake. And the only mistake I've made, look, is Sudoku. In the sense that can't be 6 anymore. That creates a 1-8 pair, which makes this a 7. Which takes 7 out of here, gives this a 7, that a 4. So these two squares are now a 2, 3 pair, and we know the order from the thermo logic. And now this thermometer has to work and go upwards, so that must be 4, that's got to be 6, that's got to be 1, that's 8, that's 1, 4, 8, 3, 3, 7, 7, 2. And all we've got to check, as well as finishing this off, all we've got to check is that we can draw valid thermos now. So that one looks valid. That looks valid. That's all the thermos drawn. So this is probably right. Yes. Wow, what a brilliant puzzle that is. That was fascinating. It's amazing what you can do with just these 5-cell pentominoes, because I didn't really touch the thermos until quite late on. They were sort of the disambiguating feature of the puzzle. But the cleverness of the geometry of the renbanic N pentominoes was absolutely magnificent. And I loved that one. I loved being able to limit that one to 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. A really, really fascinating puzzle, and we've proved that P equals MP apparently. Probably. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.